It's time for Derrick Ellis Comedy and Coffee House.
Hello, welcome to Comedy, Books, and Coffee. I'm your host, Derrick Ellis. Comedy, Books, and Coffee is a show where we discuss issues regarding black and white relation, marriage, social problems in this country as well as abroad. We try and make enlightenment of these issues and put a comedic spin on it. Also, we showcase comedians, authors, celebrity guests, as well as shows a very funny skit. My guest tonight is a very extremely funny comedian. She's one of my picks as one of the top girls that's doing something right now. Very, very funny, man. Miss Coco Brown. How you doing, Coco?
Hey, how you doing, Derrick?
Welcome
Thank
to
you
the
for
show.
having me, sweetie.
Yeah, Coco. Let me ask you a question now. Where you originally from?
Newport News, Virginia.
Okay. Now, how long have you been doing stand-up?
Almost 18 years.
18 years.
Yeah.
18 years. You have an amazing act. I mean, I've worked with you a lot of times, and I mean, for a while I thought industry had been sleeping on you because you was like. And you be constantly.
Somebody said that last night.
Yeah, you know what I mean. I've been doing it 22 years, you know, and
Okay.
I mean, when you in a room and if I have to go up behind you, I'm nervous, you know, because you got that kind of jam, you know, and
I got called the most feared woman in comedy 2 weeks ago.
You fear about some men too.
I was like, what?
Yeah.
But hey.
Yeah. You're really very talented. Now, check this out. How long have you? I asked you that. We said you've been doing about 18. When did you know that you wanted to be a comedian?
When my job fired me. I mean, real talk, I was working in advertising for
Right.
Ringling Brothers, and comedy was a hobby. You know, it was something I never thought I would be doing full time in a career. And it was something I was doing as a hobby. Some friends of mine, you know, talked me into going to an open mic contest where they were looking for a new MC for a comedy club in DC. I ended up winning it, and you know, went on from there where I met my mentor, the Fat Doctor, who took me under his wing and taught me the business. And then one day I came out to LA and I liked what I saw. I got a great reception. Went back to Ringling Brothers and they gave me my pink slip, and I haven't looked back since.
Right. And I remember you as well in the Comic View days.
Yeah. That's when comedy was fun.
Yeah,
wasn't
it?
You had something to look forward to.
Right.
You know, because you knew every spring or summer that Comic View season was coming around.
Right.
And you honed your craft all year, waiting to get that call.
Right.
And when you got it, you knew you were doing something. You were in the loop. You were in the circle.
Right.
There's no way for you to know you're in the circle now because there's no venue.
Exactly.
You know?
I agree with you 100%. Now, most comics have a favorite comedian that they looked up to, or maybe it was their, like I say, like a mentor. I know you said you liked the Fat Doctor.
Yeah, the Fat Doctor was definitely my mentor.
Who is one of your favorite comedians out of all the comics that you?
See, I can't just name one because they're comics that I love for different reasons, that I just love watching their work. I mean, I'm a big fan of David Arnold, Rodney Perry, because of their storytelling and their relatability to life and what their life is right now, where they are with their families, their kids, stuff like that.
Right.
I love Corey Holcomb's rawness.
Right.
That he doesn't care who you are.
Right.
Chop your head.
Right.
You know, I love, you know, J.B. Smooth's just energy, Tony Roberts' energy, the way they take over a stage and just command it. You know, I love D. Ray and Talent's swagger. They go on stage and hypnotize the women.
Exactly.
And they don't even know what they're laughing at.
Right.
I mean, I admire so many comics. I love you because you go on stage and it's like the Derrick Ellis show.
Thank
and
you.
it's like, watching you, it's like you're in your zone, and that laugh is just infectious. So I mean, I can't say just one. There's many comics I look up to, and and it's funny because most of the ones I truly look up to the most are men, because that's who taught me the business.
Right.
I came in the business and I was like one of the guys. They didn't let me just be a female comic, get on stage, be cute, and just say the same old crap.
Right.
They made me hone my skills and be a comedian, not just a female comic. And I appreciate, all those cats, Talent, JB Smooth, Will Savants, Cool Bubba Ice, Mike Brooks, Tony Woods, these cats, Chris Thomas, these cats, when I came in the game, they made me be a comic.
And it's ironic you mentioned those names, because a lot of people don't realize that there are a flock of urban superstar comics in their own right.
Oh yeah.
When we think of course, we know Richard Pryor, the great Richard Pryor.
Of course, Richard Pryor. Who doesn't admire Richard Pryor and study him?
All the guys that you mentioned, and along with you and I, we looked up to Richard Pryor. He paved the way for us.
Richard's like our God.
But you're right, exactly.
Let's keep it real.
Matter of fact, I saw him hanging on the wall. I said, "Rich, man, what's up?"
Richard was God and Eddie was Jesus.
Right.
I mean, that's how it is.
Exactly. But but it's. I mean, you mentioned those names, and a lot of people would be like, "Well, maybe some I never heard." But these are cats that they got showcased to America with the big urban comedy explosion from Def Jam. The Bay Area Black Comedy Competition had a lot to do with showcasing these quote-unquote stars we see now. Back in those days, because African American comics wasn't really getting no kind of light. You didn't know a JB Smooth, or you didn't know it.
Unless you were in the circles and you traveled, and it's like, when I first came in the game, it was the butt end of the Def Jam era.
Right.
And for like 5 years, Def Jam was still considered the brass ring, your graduation cap. Your walk. Because if you got to that point, because at the time, back in the day when Def Jam was created, it created stars.
Exactly.
And it was held in such a high regard that if you got to that level to do Def Jam, you had created a heat and a name for yourself in those trenches. You had been out there on that road. You were doing what you had to do to create a name for yourself. It's unfortunate that when the new version of Def Jam came out, it took away that prestige. Because it was putting people up there who had only been telling jokes for 2 months.
Exactly.
And it took away the brass ring. It made it something anybody could get.
Exactly.
And before Def Jam was, that was like the golden goose.
That was the golden goose.
You couldn't just get Def Jam.
You couldn't wait till Friday
to hear
night.
Bernie Mac got turned down first. That's crazy. Here, certain cats who are like mega stars now who got turned down because you just weren't walking on Def Jam. And then, like I said, when it came out, it had the nostalgia and it had that, prestige. But then when you saw what they did with it, it's a shame that it destroyed that brand.
Exactly.
It destroyed it.
And that's so well said by you. It's just like the same thing with Comic View. When in the early years of Comic View, the launching of it from the DL to the Cedric Show, Comic View was at this high. Everybody wanted to do Comic View. And those individuals,
even with it not paying us crap. Because
but
when I first did it, but you want to do it because it had that prestige.
It had that prestige.
We only had 2. Well, we had technically 3, but not too many cats had the balls to do Apollo.
Exactly.
So technically you had 2 venues. You had Def Jam, which was your master's degree, your PhD. And then you had Comic View, which is like getting your bachelor's or your high school diploma. When they made Comic View like getting a GED, is when they lost it. When they began to, put anybody up that was in a tape that had a knock-knock joke. Or they put people up and put crickets on them and took away the whole, anybody could do this, and if you bomb, we're gonna let the whole world know you're not garbage. And the thing is, every comic worth their salt, including Richard Pryor, George Carlin, we could go down the list, Eddie Murphy, have all had bad sets. So you mess around and put crickets on someone like that, you've now taken the possibility away of them being one of the greats. And that was unfair. And it was a shame that we had so many great vehicles for urban comedy at a time when I came in on the butt end. And I came in on the butt end of Def Jam, and I watched the rise and fall of Comic View.
Right.
I watched it.
Right.
And, it's like people got greedy. People brought in people that did not understand comedy as a whole, not just black comedy, but comedy as a whole.
As a whole, yeah.
You should be able to watch someone's tape and know if they're doing another person's joke.
Right.
Comic View got so bad, they were putting two comics back to back doing the same joke, and they thought that was funny.
Right.
So it's like you made us look cheap and cheesy when at a time white comics, Latino comics, Asian comics, they looked up to us because we were guaranteed rippers.
Right.
But we weren't coming into a club bombing.
No, we was
and
coming
when you
in
wanted us
putting
down
that fire to it.
Right, exactly. They knew if a black comic was on the show. That's why, a lot of the major clubs hate on urban comics because they always throw, well, we don't know if you can sell it out. What does it freaking matter?
Right.
All I need is one date to rip this joint.
Right.
White folks are so loyal. They're going to tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend. Now you done sold out 6 shows.
Right.
But they won't even give us that opportunity because they fear us.
Right.
Because black comics come to play every time they touch the stage.
And you're so correct. And Coco, I'm like, God damn, Coco. You've been holding some shit in.
I'm gonna tell you, I'm about to write a book like Derrick. That's what I'm gonna do.
Hey, but you know what? And you know what? I like when I do an interview with somebody I really like.
Right,
you know what I mean? And
likewise.
you got a good spirit.
Thank you.
We were on an audition, and this audition we were in for the Webisode. Remember that? And I saw you killed that role, and I was like, I know Coco got it, and you was telling me you didn't. But God has blessed you in another way, and I'll let you talk about that later if you want to.
Okay.
And but you're very, very talented. And I'd say, man, you know what? I'm gonna be skipping around, and I'm not gonna. I have to write stuff down sometimes because when you're 40, you begin to forget a lot.
It's okay.
I mean, I forgot what my cell phone was early, and I was on it. So.
Okay, I've done that.
So, Coco, let me ask you a question. Now, you're a very, very talented comedian as well as actress. I saw you in the Samuel L. Jackson movie, Lakeview Terrace. And that was you. I enjoyed your role. It was like it was a short role, but I was like, that's Coco. This is a major movie. When we come back, could you talk about that?
Sure.
Yeah, when we come back from the break. Thank you.
It's time for Derrick Ellis Comedy and Coffee House.
We're back with Comedy, Books, and Coffee. I'm your host, Derrick Ellis. I'm back here with my lovely guest, Miss Coco Brown. And yes, like before we went to break, Coco, I was saying that you were in the movie Lakeview Terrace. That movie, Samuel L. Jackson was one of the stars of the movie. And you had a nice role in the bar scene. How did that come about? Because that was a major movie.
Actually, I had taken a class, and this is something that a lot of comics need to know. First of all, they're not coming and finding you in the comedy clubs anymore. And if they do, by any chance, know the craft. So many comics could have sitcoms right now if they knew how to read a script, if they knew about acting. And when I came out here, I was very adamant of being able to be a jack of all trades and know how to act, sing, and do comedy.
Right.
So I had taken a class through the casting director Heidi Levitt, who cast a lot of things, and she loved me and she kept me in her Rolodex, which is what they do. They like you and you bring your A game. They keep you in your Rolodex and they call you in for roles. Okay. So I'm trying to teach these little youngsters out here.
Right.
So she called me in for the movie, and my very first audition, I auditioned for Neil LaBute, who is directed Death at a Funeral with Chris Rock and Martin Lawrence, and he directed Lakeview Terrace. And my first audition was with him. Well, I went in and I brought my A game, what you always got to do. And he liked, me a lot. So come to find out, I almost didn't get that role because the producers wanted a bigger name for a cameo. They wanted a Queen Latifah or something like that for a cameo. But Neil LaBute liked me so much that he fought for me, and usually the director gets the final word.
Exactly.
So much love to Neil LaBute for giving me my first major movie role.
Right, and
he fought for me, so that's how I got it. Yeah.
But you know what? One thing I can say about you, Coco, is that you are always, and that's one thing I like about you. Cause see, myself, I'm a hard worker, and you are always on the grind. You mean always, you're not if you're not in a comedy club slamming. You're making these auditions. You're out trying to, you understand what I'm saying? You're honing your craft on stage, and you're doing your acting chops. So.
Yeah, because you have to do both. So many comics, stay in the clubs every night, every single night, hitting a stage, thinking that's what's going to blow them up. As a black entertainer in this town, you have to be a triple threat, a quadruple threat.
Exactly.
You can't just be a comic.
Right.
And I know someone was put on Twitter, if you're not in the clubs every night, then you're not a real comic. I said, no, if you're in the clubs every night, you're a new jack. Because veterans know some of those nights we're in acting classes, and some of those nights we're on the road making real money.
Making real money. Exactly.
So that means you're a new jack, honey, not a real comic. You're a real comic when you have other venues to go to other than what's in your backyard.
Right.
Okay, so, and it's funny because so many comics don't know the business. I was fortunate enough, like I said, that I had great mentors, and I was geared towards this when I still lived in Maryland. This is where I started my comedy career in D.C., in Maryland. And I was told, being funny is cool, but what else can you offer? They're not, you come into that audition, they don't want to hear a set. They want to know, can you read the lines on this page and make us believe you that character?
Exactly.
And if you can't do that, but you can go in there and tell a set, you've lost the battle.
Exactly.
They ain't asked you to come in there and give them a set.
And and you're so right by that, Coco, and that's what I found myself, but before I say this, let me say this: the beautiful thing about being a stand-up comic is that we do have that versatility. We can, if you put us in the right situation, we can adjust. But like you said, you have to be like a triple threat. You can't do more than just tell jokes. So I found myself started writing books. I mean, I figured.
And that's amazing. I mean, you've motivated me. I gotta get me. That's why I was looking when I came back from break. I was like, this is nice.
The coffee mug,
It has nothing in it.
Oh, you just damn, Coco. You done gave away the whole illusion.
You ain't see me drinking this.
Well, hell, you can do it. I don't give a shit. You drank all of it. Well, I got some.
Well, this is branding. You Jacks, this is called branding.
Right, branding yourself.
You are nothing unless you are a brand. Please believe me.
Thank you.
And
thank
that
you.
brother, you teach class. You teach a class about this.
Thank you.
Because a lot of people don't know about branding.
And you know what? And that's what something I wanted to do later on.
Yeah.
Once I can make myself a little more popular. And
but I'm saying you are popular. My thing is this. There are comics out here doing comedy classes, teaching these new jacks how to be comics. They ain't nobody. But they've taken the experience they've learned. I mean, I've been asked to do a class, and I felt like, well, who am I? But then at the same token, I'm like, well, I do have something to offer. Because I'm going to come in there and give you the real and tell you what I've been through, and you can take the pearls of wisdom I give you and do what you want with it. I'm not saying I'm some great Obi-Wan Kenobi. I'm not the Oracle here. But I've had my fair share of experiences that I could share with someone who's walking through this business blind. And you have the same thing. You have branded yourself. How many comics got a damn mug? A book, a published book, numerous published books, might I add.
We got
come
like
on, that's what it's about.
And speaking of books, Coco, what? I know you're a reader.
Oh yeah.
You're a very intelligent comic, so I know you read a lot. What's a book that? What's one of your favorite books you've read?
The 48 Laws of Power.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is that like a motivational book?
It is, and it teaches you through affirmations and the 48 laws of power how you can control your destiny, how you can. And don't get me wrong, I'm very religious. I mean, I'm very spiritual, and I believe in God. And I believe everything that I have accomplished has come through God. But I also feel like this. faith without works means nothing.
It's dead.
It's dead.
Exactly.
And you can say all day long, God gonna work it out.
Yeah.
He ain't gonna work it out. You sitting in some boxer shorts on your couch.
Right.
And so I'm constantly trying to feed my mind because, you know, I want to raise some babies someday.
Exactly.
And I can't tell them jokes.
Right.
I got to have a little bit of wisdom here to go along with these jokes. I can make it funny while I'm beating your ass.
Right.
But then we're going to have a nice little talk. Okay?
Knock, who's that? Your mama on your ass.
Exactly. You know, I got to, you know, but I'm going to have a nice little conversation with you.
Right.
You know, with some bigger words.
Right.
So, you know, it's funny because, you know, I read a lot. My husband, bless his heart, hey baby, he bought me a Nook for Christmas.
Right.
And I just
I love a Nook.
Oh, the Nook is wonderful.
I have one of those.
So the
Nooks.
48 Laws of Power. I love the Power of Now.
Right.
I love anything by Deepak Chopra. You know,
Okay.
because I'm really about, you know, I practice a lot of the principles of Buddhist, but I'm a Christian.
Okay.
But I do chant, I do meditate.
Right.
Because, you know, in this business, you can truly lose yourself.
You can lose
And if you
yourself.
can't detach yourself
Right.
and regroup,
Right.
I see so many cats walking around this town, souls just gone.
Gone, yeah. It
Because
was Hollywood.
they never knew how to detach.
Exactly.
They got caught up in the image,
Yeah,
the character.
right. Yeah.
And, you know, that's how you end up getting lost. The city of Los Angeles, you know, for a reason.
And you're so correct about that. and here, I tell a lot of cats that want to come to LA, I say, it's only for people who have a layer of tough skin. You have to have
most
many
definitely.
layers.
And
You got to have alligator
And
skin.
you better have some serious roots in spirituality.
Right, because they will take it from you.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, now speaking of Nook, I love that's the new thing, the Nook book, the Kindle.
Right.
Matter of fact, you can download this book, The Comic Killer, on the Nook.
You better go,
the
boy.
Nook, Amazon.com. I'll just do a little plug. And also, we're doing a book drive. I wanted to talk about that. And you were talking about, Coco, you're very intellectual and you read a lot. And a lot of African American kids, we're doing a book drive to help those unfortunate African American kids, minorities who low income. And a lot of them, you'll be surprised, 61% of all fourth graders are illiterate, minorities. So we're trying to provide books for them, and you can donate by going on DerrickEllisBooks.com. This is something we want to do. It's all about, like you said, giving back.
Absolutely.
Okay, also,
for it.
and so now, I know sometimes you're such a busy lady, you're on the go.
Right.
A lot of times, I know you have to, in the morning, you have to get you a nice cup of coffee to get you going. What's your favorite kind of coffee?
You know, what is the thing called? It starts with the K. Me and my husband bought one with the little pods. I can't think of the name of it. But you know, you put the little pod in, and you have different flavored coffees. You can buy in the box.
I saw that at
the Kerwick.
Okay. Yeah.
Like anything by Kerwick, but me and my husband are espresso drinkers.
Right.
Because in the morning, that's like our ritual. We get up in the morning and we greet each other, and one of us goes downstairs and makes the coffee for each other.
Right.
And we love dark roast. We love anything that's espresso because that first cup of coffee is what gets us going for the rest of the day.
Exactly.
You know, and then we may do like a second cup of maybe a medium roast.
A little mild.
Yeah, milder roast later on when we wind down.
Right.
And then I'm a tea drinker too. I love Earl Grey. I love any kind of oolongs, you know, green teas. I love teas.
Yeah, great. Okay.
Yeah.
See, you know what? I'm really enjoying. I like talking with you, and
I like to.
and because it seems like the chemistry is there. Look, politics. Okay, we have about 2 minutes. I want to just ask you, how do you think President Barack Obama is doing his first term? How has he done so far?
That's a tough one. You know, the beginning, I was all about the change. Barack Obama, you know, just go for the gusto. I love him. And I will always love my president. I love Barack Obama for many, many reasons. I was a little disappointed for a brief time because I felt like he was shucking and jiving. And he was trying so hard to please everyone, whether it be the lobbyists, the politicians, the Republicans, the Democrats, you know, the Iranians, the Afghanistanians, whatever. It's like he was so busy trying to please everybody that nothing was getting accomplished. You know, and that was beginning to irritate me. And then I began to really watch him and listen to him, and I realized he has a plan.
He has a plan.
And all this time, he's one of those people that, if you ever met one of those people that will kind of just make you think they're just as low key and calm.
Right.
And when you least expect it, they pull out a shotgun and shoot everybody in the room.
Right.
Or that one person who you think is just some regular person.
Right.
And next thing you know, you're sitting next to like Prince Abu Dhabi.
right.
Because they're not putting on that front.
Right.
And that's what I've realized about Barack. He's had an intricate plan for everything he's done.
Right.
And unfortunately, as black people, and I got caught up in a brief time myself where we begin to doubt him like representing us. But he didn't become president to only represent black people.
Right.
And we had to let that go.
Exactly.
He is the president of the people, which is white, black, brown, yellow, green, whatever. And we thought he was our president, like he was going to come in and do nothing but for black people.
No.
And we got disappointed when he went in and he had to deal with everybody.
Yes,
and that's what a real president should do.
Right.
But he's, I'm happy for him now. I'm glad that he got Osama bin Laden. That was a great middle finger to Bush. And
speaking of that, it was like they were like. He was like, man, that was just so amazing that he did that.
And was so sneaky with it. Like, not sneaky in a bad way.
Right.
But he was at the Correspondence Center the night before.
Right.
Cracking on Trump. I mean, and that made me love him all over again. When he could take light of someone trying to destroy his image, his good name, his presidency, everything, just the disrespect from Fox News to Donald Trump to everybody just making this downplaying him.
But he's such a spiritual guy, so that's that whole spirit in him.
And made fun of it.
Yeah. Hey, look, we're gonna have to go to another break.
Okay.
We're wrapping this up, and I would like to thank all my guests. And everybody who's been doing this show with me so far, this is our 5th week.
Okay.
And so that's why I say all my guests, and especially you, Miss Coco Brown. You got so much things you're doing on your plate. Now, what you got? I know we got 1 minute. Let us know what you got coming up.
Okay. You guys can catch me on the new Tyler Perry show, For Better or Worse. That's going to be airing on TBS in the fall. Mm-hmm. I'll be playing Jennifer, and it's a spinoff of Why Did I Get Married? And I run Angela's Hair Salon, so make sure you watch that. You can also catch me on the new sitcom on CBS, Two Broke Girls, with Garrett Morris and Kat Dennings. Mm-hmm. And you can also tweet me at Coco Brown 22, COCOA Brown 22, and I do answer back. Okay.
Coco, it's been a pleasure.
So much, baby. Thank you.
Like I like to say to everyone, always have your great laugh, read a great book, and always wake up to a great cup of coffee. I've been your host of Comedy Books and Coffee. I'm Derrick Ellis. We're signing out. Good night.
It's time for Derrick Ellis Comedy and Coffee House.